Good evening, everyone. Good evening, world. Good day to everyone across the world, wherever you may be. And I really hope that you're seeing us right now because I'm just having a few intermittent issues with the internet. It's becoming a joke at this point because I live in the third world, uh, and we have problematic internet. But anyway, I do what I can to get this show going. My name is Jing, and I am the host for season two of Untold Legends, a podcast that was supposed to be a spin-off of the other podcast, Legends of the Internet, which is hosted by our co-host for today, Jodini.
Hi,
Good evening.
everybody.
Yes, finally we are getting here, and we are watching this. I'm doing what I can. Oh, yeah, I'm just opening up the other monitor here. Yeah, and maybe by this time already you already have an idea about the topic for today. This is volume two, and obviously the last volume for the Sons of Kojima episode because Sons of Kojima as a group is known for being the harshest critics of DarkSydePhil, DarkSydePhil, whose real name is Phil Burnell, and then maybe we will not know the real names of the people that are involved here, but this is the volume where we will be covering the information tackled on kiwi farms, as notorious as kiwi farms go. Sometimes what happens here when you're discussing some of the lol cows of the internet, what happens is there are some people so bad they end up making other people like DSP himself look good. They make people on kiwi farms look good. It's like you had it bad whenever there's infighting, and it's the infighting that's really getting into the meat of the story by the time we get into volume two. And I'm looking at the monitor, and the screen is not showing on the other side. Thank you very much to everyone that came over and gave this premiere a thumbs up. And I am doing what I can here to get this thing done. Let me just refresh the slide show that we have. It's been acting up. I hate thinking that some of these issues with StreamYard is starting to pop up ever since they got acquired by a different company. So perhaps it's their way of opening or trying to adjust their system to a ticketing system. Like, when a lot of events are done online, that they're trying to monetize that part. So, of course, StreamYard is trying to monetize their part of the site whenever they're trying to adapt into a ticketing system that may or may not work. We'll see in the coming months then, since it's been less than 6 months since StreamYard did that. So, okay. And now, oh, finally, it's now showing up on my monitor. I'm checking my other device for the monitors here. Do I have a reverb? Sometimes I fail to check my own sound. Do
No,
I
I
have?
don't hear any echoes.
Okay, good. Yeah, since I might find time to start tinkering my V8 sound card just to make sure that I'm coming across correctly or clearly. So, we have already discussed what the cast of characters in this story, in this tragedy or tragic comedy, because it's tragic and funny at the same time. And we then come with the question of how bad was the internal conflict at Sons of Kojima, and how spicy did the SOK leaks go. I may not cover everything that was discussed there at Kiwi Farms. I would get to the meat to the meat, the potatoes, as they say. I don't always get to relate to that because we always have rice. Anyway, and this is a screenie from Joro. Joro is the one that compiled the timeline and the events that occurred, the screenies as well. He is also, I'm supposing it's a he. He is also one of the leakers, one of the main people that leaked information out uh, to mess with Fred Fuchs' head because you have a man who's so paranoid about being found out. Yeah, it's only a matter of time that you can help or contribute with that paranoia by leaking information that he will not like. So here, here is one of the screenies that got saved because a lot since this group is notorious for deleting tweets, um, they end up preserving a lot of these screenies. So here is one of the screenies wherein they got in trouble for. I suppose this is for Twitch, wherein they were trying to create tiers for subscription, wherein it says support text get sweet benefits, and this is the part where they, whenever membership tiers are offered at either Twitch or YouTube, you gain access to some of the exclusive emojis, and they created a DSP emoji. Not everyone liked that because, as was explained in Volume 1, one reason that they don't like monetizing DSP content is that if DSP finds out about it, he would allegedly copyright claim the content so that whenever they make money, it ends up with DSP and it doesn't end well that way. So here is the exchange of one of the leaks. Brian is king of Pole, although they would prefer to call him as Brian. He's also called Brian on Kiwi forums, right? Oh well, Brian, I don't care if I hurt your feelings. Did you even pay the artist to make your stuff? Or are you profiting on him as well? So Arm Toast is implied here as Brian. So what WTF? You aren't hurting my feelings, dickhead. And yes, I have on my channel. I'm not using his emotes though until next week. WTF is your problem. So they were claiming later on that since this perk did not get launched anyway, nobody profited from it. And this is also mentioned by Dr. Fizz, one of the members of Sons of Kojima, said, no, the money was raised for charity and we had no interaction with the money. Text is using Phil for his own personal gain. This is a reply to a previous tweet claiming that the Sons of Kojima is raising profits for charity. Like, so they're profiting off the detractor community. Because whenever you get a lot of these views, of course, the profit will follow. And they were claiming that. So here, it shows here how there was conflict, or they were arguing on whether the money raised was for charity or it's for personal gain. And of course, here
You're
we
fucking
go.
me around, and now you're
And here is one of the clips that was uploaded by No Safe Space for You last August 13, 2017, entitled Fred Fuchs Tries It, Internet Blackmailing to Promote His Group. So we played, this is just a brief clip last time I checked.
telling people garbage about me that I collect calls and shit
You
like that.
do, though. It's the truth.
Really?
It's the truth.
I did fucking, I did blackmail pretty good with that cry call.
Oh, God. Fucking Miles. It all comes down to Miles.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good leverage.
What happened in the call between you two?
Which one?
The one recent.
Oh, the one where we apparently had a breakthrough and shit.
Yeah.
And just that. I basically the reason why it started is because I told him like, hey, I see you fucking talking all kinds of shit. I see you fucking, making these ridiculous claims in our YouTube comments to make people more upset with us over the Ardenas garbage. So
Hope they weren't as bad as my claims. Mine were very retarded.
I said, well, if you're gonna be a little bitch, then we're gonna show people that you're a little bitch. And we're gonna put that call out because we've been holding that call for a while, and we were close to posting it several different times, but we always fucking gave them a pass.
What, the
Always
one
saw
that was
fit.
recent?
What?
The recent one. The recent call.
The one where he's crying to Miles.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
And we were gonna put that out. Basically, we were super gonna put it out when the ED article shit happened. We were gonna include it in the ED article. We were gonna do a lot of shit, but we ended up.
You're muted, Jing.
Sorry about that. I forgot since. Oh god, the dogs are barking in the background again. They don't like the bullshit coming here as well. So this is following the drama with Encyclopedia Dramatica. They're also preparing some leaks as ammunition. It's it's becoming a pattern actually. As we go forward with these leaks, let me just continue the clip.
Not doing it. We ended up not messing with the ED article, and we ended up just trying to move past it. But as you know, you give people a chance, and they start to get brave, like they don't get consequences for the shit they're doing, and you got to deal with them later. So, of course, we had to deal with Burn later, and then I was going to release it again. Then we gave him we
Second
had
chance.
mercy. We gave him mercy, and then we didn't post it a second time. Then this time, after he's trying to fucking continue the Ardenaz drama, fucking make it worse, it died off, and then he's over there trying to reignite it, make these ridiculous claims. I said, all right, motherfucker. Now, now we're gonna fucking release it because you're trying to do some really malicious shit now. And then he was like, oh, let's talk. Let's have a call. I said, all right.
What, now?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. You're giving me a story. I'm like acting like it's.
Yeah, and let me check here again. Okay, just to see that I'm not accidentally muted myself again. So it's like we have this information. It's like this is how they discipline their members. Like, what kind of group is this? Like, they would be holding information about these members' heads. Like, it makes you think: how formal is this group? How formal is the membership to the Sons of Kojima that they would even have collect all of these recordings and then tell them, yeah, if you did not toe the line, then we would be releasing information about you. Like, seriously? Like, and which is why here on the next clip that we have, it would be King of Paul reacting or at least giving his side of the drama between Fred Fuchs and Tex. Let me just play that here.
For the people listening to this right now, I'm assuming you're going to be listening to what I have to say on my way of going out the door. And what I mean by that, it took me a hard time to kind of come around with this and a lot of talking and discussing with friends and people and how I would do this, whether it be a twit longer, whether it be a video or not. And I just didn't feel comfortable with any of that, whether it was public or not, due to the fact that I still feel like I'm friends with these people, even though I feel like I've been used by the people at the same time. or at least one of them in particular. I do want to say on the record that I like Fred and I like the SOK a lot. I still see them as my friends, even though I feel a little bit used by Fred uh, in a certain way. Not completely used, obviously, but two people have to tango in order for things to get going, if you know what I mean. And this all dives down to my side of the story on the whole TXT situation. It took a lot for me to do this, so hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from as I kind of go through these motions. Before we start, I do want to clarify that me and TXT are on good terms. We're not just neutral, we are on good terms. I have sincerely apologized to him multiple times, and we have talked on a few occasions and are now a part of a Skype group and discussing things along the way as more information comes out. And I do want to apologize to Kiwi Farms and a couple of these other communities who have kind of posted a lot of different information and things like that contradict a lot of the things that I was thinking. And it made me go back and look at my timeline of things and conversations that I was having, as well as discussing things with other people in the same calls and same conversations to get their perspective of it, to make sure that I wasn't misconstrued or confused as to what I was hearing, or if it wasn't just my mind playing tricks on me. So let's go back. So you obviously know about me and TXT if you guys have been paying attention. It's very obvious what happened between me and TXT. I'm not going to get into details with that. What I'm going to get into details with is why I made that tweet. My thoughts are my own and my opinions are my own. And I really, and the day that it was coming on, I posted a screen cap on a Discord channel that's dedicated for the fans of the Sons of Kojima. And it was a screen cap of me trying to subscribe to TXT on his new Twitch account that had affiliate, and seeing that it had Phil's face. I didn't feel comfortable subscribing to it due to the fact that I did not want to see TXT go through any litigations or problems with Phil, and I felt like he should know about it. At the same time, I was in a group conversation and a voice call with a couple people from the SOK, particularly Fred FUCHS and a few other people not in the SOK. And during the process of going through that information, he had suggested to me very adamantly that I should vocally let him know how I feel and show him why that's wrong, because monetization is wrong and so forth. Now, me and Fred have tossed back ideas back and forth on monetization and my thoughts, and I've always come to the conclusion that I feel like I'm defending myself when I'm talking to him, due to the fact that he is very much against monetization of anything related to DSP, and that's fine. And that's okay. That's completely fine. Whereas I'm against monetization of anybody's face in general, or anybody's brands, like using other people's brands. And as we all know, DarkSydePhil's face is literally his brand, and he sells it on t-shirts and mugs. I did not feel comfortable giving a free subscription from Twitch Prime to TXT at the time, due to the fact that I didn't feel like supporting Phil's brand, nor did I feel like he should use Phil's brand to make money. He's better than that, in my opinion. But more importantly, due to the fact that Fred FUCHS had kind of egged me on, and this wasn't the first time that Fred FUCHS has done this, as many people who have been in the conversations with us can confirm, hopefully, that he has egged me on in other multiple times, particularly a boxing match with Vider Viking, though I fucking hate Vider Viking, and I will state that again. He is a terrible human being, and I cannot stand that person.
Pause it for a second.
Have a boxing match with the person. To me, it wasn't good to think that way or have that type of mindset, as most people would.
What is it with these men and wanting to challenge each other to boxing matches? Last night, when we were talking about Shane Dawson, we mentioned something about two people going and fighting over each other in a boxing match. Now this time, there's Sons of Kojima members trying to fight each other in a boxing match. What is it with people and be like, let's get in the ring and let's go punch each other in the face? Look, I'm a guy, but I don't understand that type of violence. I'm sorry.
I don't know, some people find it therapeutic to box, but on my end, whenever I box, I just have a punching bag. There was a gym I used to go, and whenever I need to let off some steam, I just find a punching bag, and then I'm good.
Yeah, because I used to box train too. But my thing is, I would never want to get into the ring and actually spar with somebody because I don't like doing that. I mean, I like the idea of training and like doing it with pads and punching bags and doing the tire thing, but never would I be like, let's get in the ring and let's settle this. I don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's the wrong kind of therapy, I suppose,
Well, it's not a
or the
good
wrong.
kind.
Definitely.
Obviously understand that thinking that way or being that angry and upset can lead to certain consequences that you don't want to have. Nor does it make me feel good as a person to have those kind of sentiments, regardless of the fact if the person deserved it or not. I talked about this a bit in a twit longer as an apology. I talked about a group of individuals and a certain person who had egged me on, and I have an imager list because I was particularly focusing on the SOK the group chat, and not really the SOK group or SOK themselves, just really Fred FUCHS and certain people in the SOK group chat who was egging me on for multitudes of things, who wanted to see me do it, even when I said that I couldn't fly out to do these things, or that the Vider had contacted the police and they had contacted the police where I live, and then the police had gotten involved, and that he was trying to get me banned from flying to Norway, and that he almost got me fired. These people continue to egg me on, saying, "Yeah, but you really got to put hands on him. You really got to show him why he's wrong. It's going to be great, and you got to make sure you record it." These were things that were said to me during the time where I was in a very angry and an emotional position. I had a guy on the internet who had tried to get me fired, arrested, and multiple different things due to my own incompetence of a tweet, regardless of if I was accurate or not, and so forth, in conversations we've had. So when the TXT stuff happened, before I even tweeted out publicly, I was very much in the Discord group conversation, and there was very much conversations with Fred FUCHS going about telling me to do it publicly and make sure to let him know. What I did not realize was that in the immediate time that I did this, that people like Pascal and certain other individuals, part of the SOK or who were followers of the SOK, would attack TXT in the way that they did. And for that, I am sincerely sorry. I did not intend in my tweet to be used in a malicious manner or as a means to target him. He tried to explain to me the difference between .at people and @ people, as I didn't understand. I'm not Twitter savvy, if you will, but I didn't understand that there's a way to not publicly tweet at somebody and how to directly tweet at somebody. And that's on my fault. But more importantly to the matter is me and him got off the wrong foot due to the fact of miscommunication. He never came to talk to me, and I didn't understand why he didn't want Fred FUCHS as a mediator at the time when we tried to have a conversation. And I thought that Fred FUCHS at the time was a neutral individual. I did not realize or look back until I looked back on the information and started going through things that he was more so less of a mediator and more somebody who had an obvious bias in the conversation that was going to be had. Eventually, people, our close friends, got involved and brought us in, and we resolved our issues. And recently today we talked again, and I wanted to go over my information. We started noticing immediately after we resolved issues that Fred had become a little paranoid, and we tried to give him advice. He also became extremely angry at me and another friend of mine, Tamba Hat, who had also been involved in the conversations between me and TXT, and also been trying to resolve the issues between me and TXT. It came down to a very very heated kind of discussion where Fred was very angry, and he still is. People started approaching me then at that point to let me know that Fred may or may not want to remove me from the SOK chat group thing that they had, the fans SOK chat group thing, excuse me, and what they wanted to do from there. I didn't take any of that into consideration, nor did I approach him on these subjects. I just took it as hearsay and rumor and did not act upon this thing. But he did contact me to let me know that other people wanted me and my friend gone because we were bad individuals, and we were causing problems for him because of the TXT incident, even though that me and TXT had worked things out, and also even though that I had never personally involved the SOK in what I said to TXT, even though they were personally people who were egging me on to do the conversations that were happening. And they were also the same people who kind of targeted TXT in some way on Twitter. Um, and I strictly want to get this out there. This information that I'm telling you, I have talked to TXT about, and I have shared this information with him, and he believes me. You can ask him these accounts. He believes me. I had witness testimonies in this time as well. I know that a lot of you people might have differing opinions of me or different views, and that's fine. I encourage it. There's always good to be subjective to everything, and to get your own opinion on the matters of things. And always sort of reach out and try to find the information you can. And I'm always been open, or try to be open to discussion as much as can, as long as it isn't something that is attacking or anything like that. So that's all I wanted to say on the matter. That I'm sorry, and that I just want to walk away from it all. And I wanted to kind of relieve myself of what was going on. And this was very hard to do, as I feel like I'm going to be burning bridges in the process of doing this, or people might assume that that are I still feel like I'm friends with, but I felt like I needed to get these things out there. I was thinking about providing recordings and conversations, but that's just too much. You could pull anything out of context from that or whatever, and I just didn't want to get into all that. Plus, secondly, it wasn't my recordings to begin with; it was others. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry I kind of dragged on. I will be taking my leave from the community, and hopefully that I didn't even, the community I didn't even know I was a part of, really, but hopefully I'll still be me, and hopefully people will just kind of understand that and leave it as it is there, and it'll give a better clarity or understanding on my side of things and the conversations that we kind of had. And I'm more than willing to discuss anything with people if they just approach me and ask me in a kind manner, whether it's DMs or not. It just depends on the subject of the talk. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much. Take care.
Okay, so that's his side, trying to explain, maybe minimize a little his role. But it's also one of those earlier, it was the leave that followed Doper. And by this time, it's becoming obvious to some people that, yeah, they can leave Sons of Kojima, but it will not be that easy. As evidenced by the previous clip that we had here, of Fred Fuchs trying to blackmail other people from going astray. So we go to the first leak, and I did what I can uh, to enlarge the images so that we can read them in real time. This is also done by Joro, Sir James Detect, and other people that have participated in the Kiwi Farms expose. So here. So, Cass, do you have anything you would care to reveal about the Sons of Kojima? Okay. A few things, actually. They knew about the Be Awesome 1 copyright strikes, as the leaks show. Most of them did, actually. I'm sure some were against the idea of directly harming DSP's YouTube channel. Bao himself confirmed asking them about it and them saying it was okay to do it. And the departure of two former members goes deeper than the simple they moved on. There was more drama than meets the eye. Che had an argument with Fred for about 3 or so hours before being unanimously being voted out of the group. His girlfriend left a few moments after, and his friends in the following days, weeks, or months. Kamatsubu goes a little deeper. He wasn't used or anything like that. Although he may seem like a really cool guy at first, he would snap at people over the silliest stuff, going as far as threatening to kill a fellow member after they made fun of his skills as a writer. He also went after two ladies in the group, saying nasty things to one of them and being overall creepy towards the other one. There's no point in hiding any of this anymore, So everyone might as well come forward and give their side of the story. So this is one of the leakers, and this is one Kaz, one of the members that ended up spilling the beans about Fred Fuchs. And them voting out Che out of the group, that sounds like a scene from Survivor. Like they can't find someone useful to their cause anymore, and then they start voting them out. Like so, in other words, there are people who either left Sons of Kojima or they got booted out. Okay, another screen here. Did Bao say exactly which members knew about the copyright strikes beforehand? And then Kaz says, no, he only said he talked to the group and they said it was okay. He never specified names. If you wish soon to also write a tweet longer, that will help you flesh out your points and motivations. Then Kaz replied, I don't really care much about explaining people in the community about my reasons. I mean, I did say I wouldn't hide anything if anyone asked me, so a tweet longer doesn't seem to be necessary, IMO. Also, you don't need to hide my name. It's about time this stuff is made public. I respect that. And there's another thing I would like to add. My decision to leave the group had the copyright strikes thing as the main factor. I was already unhappy with the mogul thing, and knowing I was part of a group who, at the very least, allowed a member to harm DSP's livelihood didn't make me feel comfortable. So, unquote. So, in other words, some of these leaks were released with the permission of the people that are involved, and they were talking about Red Fuchs. And we have another leak here, one that is that I already mentioned on volume one because uh, Fred Fuchs was talking about some of how about trying to settle things privately only for some of these leaks or these DMs to be leaked out. Okay, so this is one of the members that is confronting Fred Fuchs. Okay, I notice you blaming the SOK as a whole for the text drama. Look, man, I don't like how you guys are causing so much drama with this one rule that not everyone agreed to. That's what caused this whole situation in the first place. Then for Pascal and others to come in and shame text when people like Tevin, Slow Beef, Review Tech USA, and others make money off of DSP. Text has every right to do his own thing, so does everyone else. This whole thing is being taken way too seriously when we are laughing at a 35-year-old loser. Yeah, you can say like I disagree with what he's doing, and that's fine, but this rule came from you guys and it caused a stigma with anyone who decides to make money off of Phil, and there is no need for that. Then Fred Fuchs replied, what do you mean, you guys? Pascal's the only person from SOK that said ABYTHJ. Tex is the one. I didn't say you guys said Pascal and others, as in random SOK fans or whatever, or whoever. Tex is the one crying foul about the community and making a big deal, quote tweeting everyone and crying. He made it about SOK. There is no rule. Popular opinion is not a rule. People want to make this sound like Tex is fighting the establishment. It's just a handful of people that think he's a hypocrite and called him out. There's others that disagree. Everyone is part of the anti-DSP community, so if there are different opinions, how is it a rule? There's others that disagree. Okay. Let me also point out Slow Beef created the Let's Play genre. He's not the same as someone who literally just tweeted about Phil for 3 years. Slow Beef made his own way. Phil is not even 1% of what he does. And another screening here. Like, called him out. All he's saying is that if you're going to call out one person, then call out the others as well. He's not the only one doing it. Fizz and AJ joined in as well, not just Pascal. What about Tevin and the others? And if it's not a rule, then why do some people have a very strong reaction to it? Pascal had no reason to come in. If it's just an opinion, it was between Paul and Tex. Pascal made it bigger than it was and caused the thing to get bigger and have Tex start being annoyed at the SOK. You guys have also told people off when they monetized as well in the past, so it creates not necessarily a rule, but a stigma towards anyone who wants to try it. We have called out others. You just said we have. Not everyone though. But you are holding a whole community up as cumulative action. One person calls one out and everyone need to call everyone out. That's ridiculous. It's not one consciousness. Not everyone is going to call everyone out. Not everyone sees everything. Not everyone has the same exact issue. Pascal getting involved also made it bigger, which is what rubbed me the wrong way. Then he replied, "We didn't like Pascal got involved. He has been tweeting about how much he fucked up on his personal account all morning. We didn't have any idea he was doing it, and he, sorry, I'm just a little startled by what he said. We didn't have any idea he was doing it, and he wasn't in contact with us while he was doing it. It makes them the victim because just as you are seeing people have different opinions, those that disagree turn it into a community versus the little guy narrative. So you can see how I thought the SOK were involved in the drama. Also, Fizz jumped in as well, and that got a bit ugly too. Maybe didn't intend for them to do that, but when you see members do it, you start to think SOK is taking a stand against monetization, especially when the member doing it starts arguing something that had nothing to do with the drama at hand. The whole victim thing, I can see that. I mean, when you have a bunch of people hating on someone, they immediately start getting sympathy. But at the same time, it shouldn't have to be that way in the first place. A lot of people voiced an opinion last night. Dragon Killer, Fizz, AJ, would you like to tweet? And not a lot of people are sympathizing with Text right now. He's pretty much done with the community after yesterday, and it doesn't have anything to do with Paul. Ironically, but more being shamed into what he can and he can't do. I don't like that. I don't like how is how that is the majority opinion, and you may have not wanted that to happen, but it happened. You may not think it's a rule, but if you look through the comments in all the tweets, you can see the confusion about it being a rule. They obviously were talking about the part. Oh, we have here. Oh, thank you very much, Sweet Buns Lifestyle, for coming over, for having um, we're having a meaty discussion here regarding monetization, about how people are not happy about certain individuals getting monetized. So here's the part where Fred takes a stand about monetization, about how he really thinks about it. So we don't like monetization, but why is that opinions are harmful? People all have a different opinion for different reasons. Text and his supporters are trying to make it sound like a rule. They are trying to make it like they are fighting a corrupt government. Huh? We can't make rules on anything. We can state our opinions, and if people agree, then that's up to them. I could say that opinion is harmful when it is splitting a group up and causing people to leave. Like I said, I understand you can control everyone, nor did I say you should. However, I saw SOK members get involved yesterday, and I didn't like how it was handled. Not just Pascal, but to me, it really feels like things are getting too serious, too serious for a group that's about Phil. This should be fun. I mean, two people were arguing with each other, some dumbass who was getting his hand held in Sonic when it was going on. How stupid does that sound? I get you don't want to give Phil that victory if he realizes people are profiting off him, but he's such an idiot, effa, that it really doesn't matter what he thinks. He already sees us as mentally ill children who follow his every move, and we're a bit effed it up to be spending time laughing at him in the first place, and that's okay. He already thinks he's better than us. This won't make a single difference, and I just don't get why you guys want to have this one thing over him. He's already the lowest of the low. There is nothing we can do that could make us worse than him. His biggest mistake was taking his whole internet life way too seriously, and yesterday felt like the community was starting to go down that road, at least in my eyes. No one should be arguing over DarkSydePhil. Fred tried to stand his ground. We've been called out for dumb stuff too. We didn't stomp our feet and cry. Your solution almost sounds like we need to keep silent on how we feel. And somehow having a set of morals makes things unfun for others. It's incredibly dehumanizing that what I'm getting from you. We need to be some corporate entity or machine without thoughts and opinions unless it comes to fail. We're normal people. Anyone can do something hypocritical and get called out for it. Just because text can't handle a few giving shit and needs to make it a bigger deal doesn't mean that it what is going on. I saw almost 5 people telling him negative stuff. This isn't an SOK problem. This is a text is the most aggressive person in the community to call people out. He talked so much about e-begging, and now he does it himself. A handful of individuals call him a hypocrite, and now that means they need to go seek out everyone, whoever did it, and that the cult of SOK is enforcing their big bad rules on him. Do you see how ridiculous of a narrative was created? And then the SOK member replied, actually, what I was saying is that you guys should say whatever you want. You guys stayed silent yesterday instead of voicing opinions, and that's what I didn't like about yesterday. You guys should have said something. You felt strongly about calling out a hypocrite. I get you don't want to create a victim mentality, but if you think it's right, then you should say it anyway and ignore the things that you know aren't true. Yeah, that's my point. That narrative is ridiculous and way too serious for what this whole thing is about. I think what caused that is Pascal and Fizz coming in. So he got called out, and the SOK isn't talking to him privately. Or maybe you are, I don't know. So he's thinking you guys are probably shaming him and throwing him out. I think certain actions help text develop that narrative. And he's thinking that Pascal and Fizz are speaking for all of you. I'm not saying a set of morals makes it unfun. I'm saying that what we do isn't very moral in the first place, so why have morals at all when it comes to him? I don't want you guys to be corporate and only talk about Phil. That's the last thing you guys should do. Just make fun of the guy. Don't make it any bigger than that and do to not take everything Phil does seriously. It's becoming obvious at this point that Fred Fox keeps pinning the blame on text. Okay. What caused this is text making this some huge deal and playing victim. He received criticism and freaked out and tried to make it a community issue instead of an issue. Sorry.
Hang in there, Cheng. Hang in there.
And okay, to continue. But like I said, he's probably thinking you guys agree with Pascal and Finn, so of course he's going to assume shit since they are part of the SOK. But that's on him to make this a big deal. I mean, you have to at least see that, right? He's attacking the SOK and frankly the entire community because a handful of people called him out. Let me just refresh your memory what this is all about. This is about some members of Sons of Kojima calling out text for trying to monetize DSP content by creating supposedly a membership perk that involved the use of a DSP emoji. A DSP emoji perk did not push through because of the backlash. Going back to that SOK member that at least he tried to point out to Fred Fuchs what is wrong. Sorry, but no. If he was attacking you guys during the argument with Paul, then I could see where you're coming from. I could see where you're coming from, but he didn't. He didn't start calling out the SOK until Pascal and Fizz got involved. I don't think it has anything to do with other people, mainly the members of the SOK who said stuff. I get that you think he's overreacting, but you have to look at it on his side as well. I need to pause there because this is where Tex realizes that if Fred's argument is getting weaker, he will get some reinforcements, and the reinforcements are. It looks like Pascal and Fizz are reinforcements here. I'm just continue reading this. Being silent can be taken as a number of ways, and he decided to take it this way. Unfortunately, Pascal and Fizz chose to get involved, and that is okay. And that is what caused the SOK to get involved. It's not just on him to make it a big deal. They did too. Okay, and then he replied, they didn't even get involved until later on though. Tex was already crying and making a big deal quote tweeting everyone. Okay. Fizz made one tweet and AJ made one parody tweet of the whole situation. Yeah, but that wasn't about the SOK. It was about Paul and his defenders backing him. In fact, when Pascal jumped in, he started arguing with Text about something that had nothing to do with the Paul or Text argument, and then the whole monetization stuff came in. It was monetization, e-begging, and hypocrisy from the beginning. But I'm not but not attacking the SOK, that's the point I'm making. Because all of the SOKs stand behind the moral of no monetization. So if he sees Pascal and Fizz say something, it means that they are also speaking for the rest of you, since you have all that same opinion. It's the joys of being in a group, unfortunately. As for the bullying, that's just speculating. And that's kind of pointless to talk about because we don't know if it's true or not. How do you know we all have that opinion? Not to mention, he is slamming the community, as he puts it. Go look at his pinned tweet. Well, do you guys all have the same opinion? I asked earlier, but you didn't answer, so I'm just going off the fact that no one has said monetization is okay. That's a big member of the SOK. Yeah, saw it. He's definitely gonna leave with a big FU to everyone after all that went down. There are some that are fine with it. They didn't get involved. Barely anyone got involved. That's my point. He's not leaving at all. Lol. He's back to tweeting already. I mean, do any of them monetize anything? Fine with it. Fine with it's not the same as agreeing with it. Like you said, it's an opinion. They can't really do anything about it other than state how you feel about it. Yeah, and it sucks that being in a group means you all get involved in some way, even if it fits a couple of members. What I've gathered, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that Tex is right in this situation and that others should have not done their mind on their individual Twitter accounts. And I see you saying sucks to be part of a group, like just deal with what comes of it. But how about being part of community and dealing with what comes of that? How about being such a vocal and aggressive person about others e-begging and then getting called out yourself and dealing with that? How about it just sounds like you are backing Tex in every way. Ooh. Okay, and of course, a lot of
I never planned on making a video like this. I left the Sons of
and of
Kojima
course, one of the since it was mentioned that Cher was booted out of the group, he ended up making a reaction to these leaks. Let me just repeat that. There you go. So we'd be listening to that here. And this was uploaded. Yeah. Che ended up creating a YouTube channel containing only this video just to make sure that he gets his point across. And I had some trouble following with the. Well, he made a screen grab of all the conversations he's had, so let's go listen to it.
I never planned on making a video like this. I left the Sons of Kojima in 2016, and I think my actions in the past prove that I'm not out to try to take them down or I'm not on some warpath. I left that group in 2016, and I never made a video about them. I never said anything directly about the Sons of Kojima. I argued with some of their members in the past year because they were acting like fucking morons, but I never said anything directly about the Sons of Kojima until now. And there's a reason for that. It's not because I was scared. There's nothing to be scared of. If you see the way these people react to something small like criticism or someone saying something bad about them, you'll figure out that there's nothing to be scared of. And take it from someone that was in the group. I was in the group. I did some stupid shit. I acted like an idiot. I acted retarded. I was insecure about some things, and I just took my anger out in the dumbest ways. I admit that. I acted like a fucking idiot. Everyone makes mistakes, but the problem is when people try to act like that they didn't make a mistake or there were excuses for that. Adults own up to their actions. Kids make excuses. Now you're going to see some stuff here that you haven't seen before. I don't consider these leaks. These are from the Kojimative group, and this was a secret group that I was a part of. A lot of those leaks came from that group. I don't know who the fuck leaked it, but I'm just going to show you more context because I think it's unfair to just show Fizz or Fred's screen caps. A lot of people did a lot of dirty shit in that group, even though Fred was the most active. And you're going to see some stuff later that you haven't seen before. And I don't consider this a very private leak because this is about the crazy shit that me and someone else did to other people. And you know what? We did it in private. We didn't do it to their faces. We didn't tell them about it. So it's only fair. Now, a lot of my friends can tell you that I don't leak stuff. If you tell me something private about your family or something like that, I never leak it. People have told me very private stuff, and I either deleted it or never said a word about it.
By the way, for context, Fizz is allegedly one of the last members to stay by Fred Fuchs' side. So you'd be hearing him getting mentioned also later because there are other clips that Che, uh, Che shared his story.
But this isn't about private stuff. This isn't about no one's family. This is about dirt that I did with other people that we never showed to other people. And I think it's only fair that they know because, hey, if you're going to conspire against someone in private, then why would you get mad when it gets exposed? You didn't tell that person that you were doing that crazy shit to them the whole time. And a lot of you motherfuckers in the Sons of Kojima never showed me the respect that I showed you about privacy. You motherfuckers talked to me in private, and anytime I said something you didn't like, you screen capped it and showed it to other people in the group when I wasn't around, especially when I took my break, and sometimes even after I left, y'all did that shit. It comes full circle. About a week ago, some leaks came out, and when I saw these leaks, I was embarrassed. I was hoping that this stuff would never come out because it shows us, and I include me because I was a part of that shit. It shows us doing some weird, obsessive shit, trying to get people to record calls, getting people to record calls successfully, spying on people, trying to be up to date like TMZ on what another person is doing over some stupid shit, trying to spy on a whole group because we don't like one person. Literally trying to figure out what they're doing 24/7. And some people, like Fred, were the most active. That's the truth. He is the most active member of that group. It's like he was there 24/7, but that does not excuse what other members did and what I did. And to be frank, when I saw those leaks on some websites, I was fucking embarrassed and mortified. I could not believe I was a part of that stuff. I was hoping it was swept under the rug. And some of you might be saying, well, that's a bit over dramatic, but it's not over dramatic. Spying, trying to get people to record calls, obsessing over people, that's embarrassing shit. And I could not believe I was a part of that. It was fucking mortifying. And when I first saw those leaks, I was planning on getting off Twitter for a while. I didn't want to reply to comments on my YouTube videos. I didn't want to show no activity because I didn't want someone asking me about it. It was just that embarrassing. But the damage is already done. The leaks are already out. I don't know who leaked it. Some of those leaks come from groups where there's over 10 or 15 people. So it could be a lot of people that could have done it. But that's not important. The leaks are real. And that's only a small part of the stuff we did. If you knew the whole story, it would fucking drive you crazy. It's that retarded. You would look at us like we're a bunch of fucking lunatics. And I don't blame you if you think that. It's fucking stupid. So I decided to go on Twitter and own up to it. And I confirmed it's real. Everyone knows the truth, anyways. It wasn't Photoshop. But I also said that every active person in that group does that type of stuff and more. We did a lot worse stuff than that, and every active person in that group does that. And I personally believe that the group still acts like that, just with some different members, but I do believe that they still do that stuff based off of the way that some of them reacted to it or didn't react to it. After I tweeted those things out, I got a lot of support from people that watched me on YouTube, people in the community, outside the community, and some of my friends. And I appreciate that. But I also started to see some things that really started to irk me. I saw current active members try to sweep that shit under the rug. I saw some of them pretend that they never knew anything about that type of stuff. They played dumb. Let me tell you one thing. Every active member in that group when I was in there did that type of stuff. Just because they weren't involved in that specific situation doesn't mean they didn't do it in other situations. In fact, we did worse things than that. We spied on each other. We were suspicious of other members. There were certain cliques inside certain cliques trying to fucking go against other members. Some members tried getting other members' information, and I was a part of that shit. I did that stuff. I ain't got no reason to lie. Admitting to all this stuff also admits to me being a fucking moron, and I'm embarrassed by that shit. But there is no way I'm going to admit to something and have other members try to act like, oh, it's only former members. We don't do that stuff anymore. Get the fuck out of here. Just by members saying that and try to sweep it under the rug and trying to act like it's not a big deal when this type of stuff is fucking weird and obsessive, it just proves to me that the group still does that shit, that they still act in that way. It's still a way of life for them, just with different people than 2 or 3 years ago. So let's get one thing straight. Every active member in the group participated in some of that stuff. Some members did it more than others, but everyone was involved in it. And when I mean members, I'm not talking about people like Dragon Killer. He wasn't a part of any of that stuff. He wasn't even active in the group. I'm talking about active members, the people that were there and active when I was in the group. And based off of their reactions, I still do believe that that shit goes on. Probably worse than it was before, but at the very least, it goes on in the same way. Now I want to correct some things. Let's start off with Kaz. Kaz, I know you're an active member of the group. I called you a group cheerleader before, and you got kind of mad about that and changed your bio trying to be snarky. But we know you're sensitive, and you admitted that you despise me. We don't like each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you going on and try to act like, I never did any of that stuff. Golly gee, it was just some current and former members. I know you're trying to play the narrative that it's only some bad apples that left the group that contributed to that toxic atmosphere. No. Now I know for a fact that you motherfuckers still do that shit by the way you react. Even you, motherfucker, just because you weren't involved in that whole TCP situation doesn't mean that you didn't do that stuff before. You are a sensitive person. In fact, so sensitive that when Doper came back on Twitter, you knew about it from day one, and you even tried to get the community to go after Doper 8 months after he made that tweet longer criticizing you motherfuckers. It's not his fault that you deleted your response to his criticism. That's the group's fault. And Kaz, I know you try to go on Twitter and act like you're some big badass. Mister, I'm from Brazil, so that automatically means I'm a badass. I'm a cold-hearted capitalist. My name is Kaz. Deal with it, Total Biscuit. Get the fuck out of here. Anyone that's in the group or anyone that knows you knows the truth. You're just a cheerleader for the group. You're very sensitive when anyone makes fun of the group, especially Fred. And I know that from personal conversations with you. Hey Kaz, remember that
Oh, crap.
time that you tried to get the community to go after Doper?
I was. Let me see. I was trying to pause because I just saw the screenshot of one of the members, or former members, of Sons of Kojima, Dominatrix Gamer. She was the one mentioned in some of the documents as one suffering from cancer. Um, I'm saving that story for the end because it's one that really got this story a lot even sadder.
8 months after he made that tweet longer criticizing you, Doper didn't criticize you again. He made a new Twitter, he joined the TCP, and he just moved on from it. But that wasn't good enough for you. No, you tried to get the community to go after him again. He didn't criticize you again, he just moved on. But you tried to do it again. And you got so sensitive and butthurt when you got called out for it that you tried acting so hard and badass, and it was so pathetic. Remember that time where Dominatrix Gamer, a tough, badass bitch from Florida, called you out for bringing up the doper shit over and over again, even though he wasn't doing anything? And what did you say? You were so pissed off that a woman called you out. You were so sensitive about it. Your feelings got hurt so bad that you tried bringing up her cancer to get back at her. You tried going for a cheap shot to try to get her to react. That wasn't because you were trying to be an edgelord or you were trying to be edgy. Ha ha ha, I can make this joke. No, the reason why you did it, and I know it because I know you, the reason why you did it is because you were so fucking sensitive and you were so butthurt, so you tried to get at her personally. And what did she do? She threw it back at you and made you look like a fucking fool. And Kaz, also remember the pinned subtweet you had about me for 6 months? Now, everybody subtweets. I do it. Some people do it more than others, like people in SOK, but everyone does that at least once in a while. But Kaz, you had a pinned subtweet about me for 6 fucking months. You changed your bio every time I made fun of you, especially the cheerleader one. Brother, what did that pinned subtweet say? Oh, I betrayed my friends and I like traps and I'm gonna hate the haters. Am I cool now? Well, you didn't say you're cool like Che. All you said was, am I cool now? Because it was a subtweet. I knew it was about me, and I hope you do pin stuff about me like that in the future because it was very funny. I was very sad to see you take it down. I even responded to it, and I wanted you to say it was about me. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm like 5,000 miles away. I can't hurt you. But you bitched out. And you know something, Kaz? Yes, I am bisexual, and I am very gay. I do like femme guys, or as some of you call them, traps, but let me quote a movie. Kaz, I may be gay, but you're the real faggot here. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about Kaz that much. He already does a good job embarrassing himself daily. And Kaz, remember the time you placated to me that you were kissing my ass in private because you wanted to get into the group and you wanted my vote? That was the most important thing in the world to you, to get inside the group. Well, guess what, Kaz? Like I told you before, I didn't vote on that. I was on break, motherfucker. So all that ass kissing was for nothing. And Nomad 5110, I see you on Twitter trying to be snarky, trying to push everything to the side. The antics tonight, as you said. But let's get one thing straight, Mr. NSA. And I say that because you record, you write down, you jot down every fucking thing that happens in the group. And you're very quiet about it. You only say 5 words in 1 hour if you're fucking lucky. You just sit there in the background, you're very quiet, and you record everything that everyone does. You sit there and jot down everything. You're like the NSA because you have every bit of every fucking piece of information that happened in the past 3 years in that fucking group, and a lot of stuff outside of it too. Shit, you probably know what I ate for dinner 2 years ago. You're a fucking weird motherfucker, so you ain't got no room to talk. And also, Moogle. Moogle, I know a lot of people like you, but that doesn't mean I have to. You're a very passive-aggressive motherfucker. What did you say to me in private back in June? Oh, that I was still salty about the group, even though you brought it up. You said that I abandoned you. And what did you say? That I abandoned y'all. That I still have a grudge against y'all. And what did you do with that conversation we had? You admitted that you showed it to other people. So I think it's only fair to show it here. Moogle, I know that the group spied on you with the TCP stuff, but you're not innocent too. You're very passive aggressive and you were very gung-ho about all the other dirty shit we did. Stop acting like a fucking victim. Grow up, stop bitching about your bronchitis, and man the fuck up and stop acting like a victim. Now, I'm not going to waste my time talking specifically about everyone, so I'll just name some other people that were involved in this dirty shit. But the best way to think about it is, see everybody on that poster? They were a part of that dirty stuff. That includes people like Moogle, Fazzy, Nomad, Fred, me, Fizz, Shodden, Loophole, Miles, Kamasubu, Moonman, but Moonman left that shit like I did, Be Awesome One, and some others too. Just look at that big banner of all the SOK members or try to find an old one from like a year ago. Every member was involved in that dirty shit. Last but not least, Fred. Now, Fred, I know you. I did some dirt with you. We were like a 1-2 combination for a short period of time, like 4 months or something like that. But we did some dirt together. We sent Cyber to collect calls from other people. We shared screen caps of people. We tried getting other members' private information. I did some dirt with you, motherfucker. And you know what I'm talking about. You need to man up. You need to stop acting like a bitch. You need to stop taking this DSP internet stuff too seriously. There's nothing wrong with having a group of friends and forming bonds or anything like that. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about this stupid KGB, CIA presidential shit that you think you have going on in that fucked up mind of yours. Man up, stop being a bitch, and apologize to the fucking people that you helped spy on. You don't have to apologize to Ren, but there's several other members in that group that had nothing to do with our little beef or Renegade, but you had no problems with that. You didn't know who they are, you never talked to them, but you still wanted to spy on them. That's some creepy, obsessive shit that we all did. You need to man the fuck up. You need to stop hiding behind other members. I know what you're trying to do because we did it before. When the heat gets too strong, what do? You hide and you hope everything gets swept under the rug, and you try to get other members to act like everything's okay when it's really not. I know what you're doing. You're probably shitting your pants right now. You're pissed off that you got a lolcow thread about you on kiwi farms for the rest of your life, and you're really shaking in your fucking boots. I know you, motherfucker. And you can talk all the shit you want about me. At least I'm a man of my word, and I can admit my mistakes. And one more thing, Fred. The reason why I'm showing all of these is not because I'm leaking stuff. The stuff is already leaked. I'm just showing more context and showing that I did dirty stuff too, as well as other members. It's not just you or Fizz that did this dirty stuff. A lot of people did it. Now, Fred, you're the most active. I mean, the way you acted, I really do believe this is your life, doing your YouTube channel and the podcast. And there's nothing wrong with that. You live the life the way you want to, but you've become the thing that you accuse other people of doing. Delusional, paranoid. You see enemies at every doorstep. I'm starting to think that you really have mental issues, that you see shit that ain't there. But not only that, you think you're better than a lot of people for the stupidest reasons. Oh my God, you have a YouTube channel where you get easy drama attention videos that are so easy. I know I've done them type of videos before, but I don't want to do them every fucking day or every fucking week. But you think you're better than people because of that. You got issues, motherfucker, and you need to work on that. But remember, Fred, this isn't an attack on you and not an attack on the Sons of Kojima, because everything I say and everything I show shows that I did dirty shit too, and I take the heat just as much as everyone else. But I'm sick and tired of your fucking group, the way y'all motherfuckers bugged me in private and in other places for the past year, even though I didn't even do anything, the way you motherfuckers think that I abandoned y'all and I betrayed you, and you have this mentality of I'm like a Benedict Arnold and a traitor, and I'm sure you have that with other people. But the leaks came out, and you motherfuckers are trying to act innocent. No, fuck that. And with that, I'm going to end this video. My advice to the Sons of Kojima: man the fuck up, stop being bitches, accept what you did, and learn from it. Because your actions showed that you probably haven't learned from it, and you're probably even more delusional, paranoid, and obsessive than before. And I'm not condemning all the members. I'm just condemning the motherfuckers that I know I did dirt with and making my predictions. You have a great day. I wash my hands with this shit. That's all I gotta say. Peace out.
Yeah, and I have to pause there a second before the end of the video because that's when we end up getting. I found some of the updates that eventually happened. Well, because they were trying to patch things up, or at least try to make a truce between Paul and Tex. And this is the code from the Kiwi Farms account. Because the plan to leak the info eventually happened. And then, of course, because they're trying to patch Paul and Text up, according, and I would be quoting Joro on this, Brian had been very quiet since the assault on him on Twitter, and then Kiwi. One evening, about 10 days after the barrage on him and the community began, Paul DM'd Text and said he wanted to patch things up. So it was Brian, Jim, aka Mr. Medicare, and Text in a Discord. They were able to hash together a real truce, but then minutes later, Fred tried joining the call and the text refused, saying there would be no such an accord between them. Fred flipped the F out, telling Paul that Tex and he could work things out, but now he was left holding all the pieces. Jim had given Fred some sage advice during this, telling him that the SOK had become an A-loggers, or people who think they are morally superior in every way to the person they make fun of and wish harm or misfortune on the person, and that a lot of eyes were on what was happening on kiwi farms with the leaks. Jim recommended they branch out, follow, and comment on other YouTubers, not exclusively DSP. Fred flippantly thumbed his nose at Jim, saying they will stay on Phil regardless. End quote. So, yeah, they were. When someone like Mr. Medical is trying to give advice on how to improve your content, how to evolve online, and we just said no. You end up making people, even like Mr. Medical, look good. Like, this is how bad Sons of Kojima had gotten. So, as I accidentally exposed or showed a while ago, DarkSydePhil himself reacts to these leaks, and he did not it, he did not do it using a video. Let me just check the audio. Okay, there's no audio on that, just screenies that were zoomed in for brevity. I also attached the link here, the Q Forms thread where it was posted. It's one of the screens or one of the pages. Okay, my thoughts. Okay, to quote DSP, my thoughts on the SOK situation, and my only one. So please stop asking me for more. Tons of people are now messaging me to say that SOK is being exposed for doing horrible things to me that they denied for years and the like via a series of leaks. It was obvious the vast majority of the shit was always them, as they are the only group who delve that deep into my personal shit. I would not be surprised if they performed the vast majority of negative things against me, including the doxing, DDoS attacks, false copyright strikes, prank calls, pizza deliveries, signing up my emails to hundreds of spam email sites, signing up my physical mail to dozens of catalogs and magazines I don't want, sending me feces in the mail. Yes, all of that happened, and even swatting me. And remember, Liana's father also got swatted after the swat against us didn't get any of the negative desired effect, nor the real ability to make fun of us. That's the most effed up thing about SOK and the like. The way they don't only try to ruin my life, but the lives of everyone around me as well. I wholeheartedly admit that money was one of the many factors in the breakdown of my relationship with Leanna. And what caused the money situation? Two things: my accumulating huge debt from a move across the USA, and two, my inability to pay off that debt because of false copyright strikes single handedly destroying DSPGaming as a profitable YouTube channel. Now that it's come out that they are directly involved in false copyright strikes, I can 100% accurately say that SOK has, in many ways, destroyed my reputation, my capacity to keep making money on YouTube, and my personal life as well. I will now reveal something that I've never revealed before, and it's something the SOK have dwelled on for years and totally spun for their own purposes. This will blow your mind. The real reason that we did not attend Liana's brother's wedding. After Liana's father was swatted, despite us never mentioning him in any video nor giving out info regarding him, we knew nobody was safe. None of our family members would ever be immune from the hatred and vile actions that we were suffering because the people doing them had no moral compass nor conscience. So, when it came time to start making preparations to attend Leanna's brother's wedding in late 2015, we talked directly with him and his wife to be about it. we came to the conclusion that ultimately, if we attended, there would be a strongly increased chance that someone would try to F with us and ruin the event, which obviously we did not want to happen because it wasn't our event to get ruined. That would have been incredibly effed up. Having someone else's once in a lifetime event get ruined by a swatting or another kind of harmless prank that these F-wads would try to pull. So after having serious discussions about it, we all collectively agreed to stay home and not attend the event. I stopped mentioning it altogether, and Liana and her brother were both very sad but knew it was for the best. What did the SOK do? Well, first they decided to find out the address and date of the wedding. Yes, that is entirely true. They're so effing sick that they, on their own and without my mentioning it for months, researched and found the event, then spread that info all over the internet. They then decided to spin it that the reason we weren't attending was because I had forced Leanne to skip it so that I could stay home and play Fallout 4 to make money. They actually accused me of keeping her at home forcefully. It couldn't have been further from the truth. It was the crippling fear that the SOK themselves, who found the damn date and address of the wedding, would have swatted the wedding that made us stay home. So, not only were they the reason we missed the wedding, they then turned their own vile actions into a way to make me look bad after the fact. It's mind numbing, isn't it? The best part, I don't even know any of them, nor do I even know who the hell they are outside of the fact that they all want to hurt me. It's absolute insanity. That's how that group is, just like anyone is who is hyper focused on hurting one person you don't even know. It's stereotypical stalker behavior, and when it happens to celebrities, they get restraining orders. Sadly, I never had a defense against this kind of stuff because I wasn't big enough, smart enough, or rich enough to find a way to put protections in place and or just be immune to it. This is a textbook case of a bunch of sick-headed, mentally ill. Yes, if you try to ruin someone's life who you don't know, you are mentally ill. Individuals trying to destroy someone they've never met and have zero personal relationship with. It's disgusting and disturbing. Anyway, outside of the fact that it's been exposed that the SOK were directly involved with the false copyright strikes against DSPGaming and more, I'm not reading up on any of the drama shit, and I honestly don't care. My life is already destroyed in a lot of ways, both financially and personally, and I'll probably never recover from the financial situation I'm in that they created. Therefore, why dwell on it? I've got a good thing going with Twitch, and I'm going to focus on the positives instead of the crazy amount of negatives I've suffered at their hands. So, please don't keep contacting me with juicy new info as I don't care. Just let me do my daily thing and be who I've always been since day one. And let's keep stuff positive moving forward. Everything else is just white noise that we can block out. End quote. So yeah, here are the other quotes and other leaks that are going on here. Of course, the false copyright strikes, the drama, the the goal against monetizations. Like, by the way, you can take DSP's word with a grain of salt because he has he's notorious for making drama about himself as well and making himself look the victim. If you have seen the first part of the DSP episode on Legends of the Internet, you may have known already there how he made Liana's confinement episode about himself. It's like she's the one confined to the hospital, but DSP made it about himself and him. assuming this victim mentality is it's so bad it's almost funny. So here, and of course another leak. Since the timelines between the emote drama and the poll versus text feud that Fred tried to fan for the sake of drama. Here's another alleged leak. Testimony from an S02E12 member present during the emote drama, confirming and clarifying Fred's involvement and true intentions. Since it says here, during the beginning of the whole emote fiasco, Fred wanted to get rid of both you and Paul. Basically, he thought you two could go at each other's throats and disappear because of the drama. And then another quote, I used to consider him as a friend in the beginning, as I believe many others did. But then you see the backstage Fred, the real deal. Guy would go off on people if made fun of for stupid reasons. Then you have this hate boner for Pascal when he effed everything up. Effed up during the emote thing. Fred literally wanted him to get his bitten before getting kicked out. That dude is no one's friend. And so we have to go then with the clip that I was already teasing a while ago regarding this. Che went off on one of the episodes. There was this clip that Loophole 572, one of the former members of the Sons of Kojima, he streamed a virtual funeral for the Sons of Kojima, although it was more like everyone else that got booted out or quit Sons of Kojima are joining together and declare Sons of Kojima as a buried cause. So it's practically the burial of Fred Fox and his remaining cohorts. So I have the clip here. I already um, skipped to the part where Che was talking. So here. I simply have to check on the audio again, make sure that everything's working. I don't like how the internet's acting. Oh, there you go. Also, for context, Che had a girlfriend in Sons of Kojima, and most of the frustrations that Che had about Sons of Kojima also involved the girlfriend.
What's up, man?
My dude,
Hey, dude. Okay, so you should be on right now.
how's it going?
Hey, man. It's going good.
Oh, hold on, my bad. I'm on speak.
Okay, here we go. Just ignore the dog noises in the background since.
All right,
All right.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Well, I got something to say to Fred. And you know, to be honest, I kept this a secret because I didn't want to bring it up and shit because I was trying to put this in the past. But my fucking issue is with Fred is that he's a wannabe MMA bitch. The only fucking exercise that he gets is going to Taco Bell. The dude admitted to taking like 3 fucking weekends of classes at a fucking dojo. Okay? I get more fucking exercise walking to my mailbox than his MMA training. So don't believe his MMA shit. And I got one thing to say. And I wasn't going to say this until one of you motherfuckers, and I'm not going to say who, you came to me in private when those leaks came out and you made a sneak diss about leaking shit about Alice because you thought I was the leaker. And I know Fred sent that motherfucker. So here's what I'm going to say. You never liked Alice. You disrespected her.
For context, Alice is the one whose screenshot was shown on the chair clip that I showed a while ago. Um,
And when I was in Florida with her, and excuse me if I crack up, when I was in Florida with her in the hospital when her leukemia relapsed, you still came to me and you said that her fucking medical conditions weren't real, that she was just an attention whore that was lying about her medical issues. What about that, Fred? You never apologized to me for that. You gave me some bullshit statement after he passed. Oh, I'm sorry, Che. I know you loved her, but blah blah blah. Really? You never liked Alice. In fact, what was you gonna tell people? That she faked her fucking cancer? What do you got to say about that now? She's 6 feet in the fucking grave. What are you gonna say about that now? You haven't come to me man to man and apologize about the shit you said about her. And what was you planning to do when she passed away? You wanted to make a podcast where you put her name in the title and you put her fucking picture in the title so you can get fucking views off of a memorial podcast. That's why you were saying all that shit on Twitter. Oh, R.I.P. Alice. And I came to you in private and I told you to not do that shit or I would leak everything. Right? You should be dead instead of her. And I mean that. You should be dead instead of her. What are you going to say now, big man? Huh? You say she's faking her medical conditions? Why don't you go tell her fucking parents that? Yeah, big talk coming from the guy that is so scared to show his fucking face that when your fucking feet got leaked, right? When you posted that picture about your fucking legs and shit, those fat fucking legs, right? With no muscle, no MMA training, nothing, right? You got scared and you took those fucking legs down because they leaked it on 8chan. You're so scared to show your fucking face yet. You'll make fun of the way I look. Loophole, renegade. Who are you to judge, motherfucker? Nobody knows what you look like because you're too scared to show yourself. That one's for Alice. And I'm not using her for anything. I just thought people should know. You disrespected her memory and you disrespected her. Even she was in a fucking hospital bed. You thought she was a part of some anti-SOK group when she was taking a break. She was in a fucking hospital bed. I was fucking with her in the hospital. Those 3 months I was with her before, God rest her soul, it got worse and she passed away. You fucking told the whole group that I was fucking spying on motherfuckers. Alice told you in that secret group that she had leukemia again. And what did you do? Those 3 fucking months from January to April until I left the group, you fucking said that I was in a and Evo AJ, everyone in that fucking chat that I got booted out, you'll know. What was he telling people? He was telling people that I was fucking gonna go on a podcast and leak some shit. That you wouldn't let me get on the podcast to tell people I was taking a break. I was in a fucking hospital taking care of Alice, and you knew that. She told you that. She told you that privately that she was in the hospital. And you spent that whole time telling everybody that I was fucking part of an anti-SOK group. Because you were too much of a bitch to ask me in fucking private if I was being anti-SOK. Now, where are you, Fred? You called everyone bitches, right? The wannabe internet MMA guy, right? You do MMA. You take people to the ground. You do jujitsu, even though you never did it in your fucking life. You ain't even got a fucking belt, motherfucker. You never competed. You took 2 fucking weekend classes. You a weekend warrior. I get more exercise walking to my fucking mailbox than your whole MMA career. But you think just because you watch UFC, you're a fucking tough guy. Why can't you show your face? Come to the stream. I know you watching, motherfucker. And here's another thing, right? Did you know that this motherfucker tried getting Loophole's private information, right? He was looking him up on Newgrounds and found his full name. He was trying to look him up. And Caesar, I'm sorry, motherfucker. I was too pissed off and when I left the group and I was taking care of people. Okay, I was taking care of Alice to tell you this. But you know, Caesar, did you know that Fred doxed you? Yeah, he went to me in private. Hey, here's fucking Cyanide Caesar's fucking Facebook page. I looked him up in fucking New Jersey. Look at him. He looks like a faggot, right? You dox people, you spied on people, and you are a flat out bitch. You can make fun of me for being bisexual all the fuck you want, motherfucker. And I hope someone's recording this. This is your burial. And Medicare, I want Medicare to hear this. If you make a video about Fred And this whole bullshit with the Sons of Kojima, I promise I will PayPal you $20 fucking, and I will tweet
Oh,
that
shit.
shit out, and I will get my cousin to donate $1. I will be a fucking year-long subscriber to your fucking Patreon. It'd only be $1, but I will give you $20 fucking, and I will subscribe to your Patreon if you make a video about that's okay, and I will give you leaks, and I will give you even more leaks if you make a video about him. Bury this motherfucker for trying to look at people's private information and spreading that shit. You know he fucking spread fucking Tevin's and Renegade's fucking ex's info on other websites like 8chan and shit. Yeah. Yeah. What's up? Right? Right. You told me that, hey, I don't know anything about Dox and Tevin. It was 123 Sam. Yeah, you admit in that fucking call that you Dox fucking not Tevin, text. So Jim, I want you to hear this. I will give you $20 fucking, and I will be a lifelong subscriber to your Twitch, and I will tell all of my subscribers to please subscribe to Mr. Mediker. And you know what? Come Christmas time, I'll give you another fucking $20, and I'll help you with the video. Bury this motherfucker. You got the fucking views for it. You got the people. Bury this motherfucker. He tried looking up loopholes information. He tried looking up renegades information. He even tried looking up my information until I told him, motherfucker, you ain't gonna find it. And if you do find it, what the fuck are you gonna do? Fred, what the fuck are you gonna do to Tevin? What the fuck are you gonna do to loophole? What are you gonna do to renegade? Huh? What are you gonna do to us? Right? Go ahead, motherfucker. If you know where I live, come at me. But that's right, because you don't know how to fight. You don't know anything, right? Where's that political science degree, right? The best thing that fucking degrees do is going to get you a job at fucking Dunkin' Donuts, whereas you're probably working now. I got a bachelor's degree in fucking political science. What the fuck does that mean? You ain't doing shit with it. What are you doing with it, huh? What are you doing with that degree? Nothing. And let me tell you something else, folks. Did you know that this motherfucker was in Skype calls 19 hours a day? 19 hours a day. 19, folks. I would come home from work or college, and this motherfucker would fall asleep in the call. He spent his fucking life in that group. His life, 20-hour calls, obsessing over people. Hey, you guys remember Sam? Did you know this motherfucker made a 20-hour Skype call trying to come up with a battle plan against Sam because she called him a bitch on Twitter? Did y'all know that? A 20-hour battle plan. He made bullet points and PowerPoints about Sam. We're going to attack Sam. We're going to do this. We're going to lay out an offensive on Twitter against her just because she called Fred a bitch. Why are you hiding, Fred? I thought you were a man. I thought the big badass. I watch UFC. I'm a big badass, huh? Right? Where you at, motherfucker? We here. We all owning up to our mistakes. Me, Loophole, Moogle. I don't even give a fuck about Kaz, because Kaz, you disrespected Alice in private to me too, and you know what you did. So don't even ask for my forgiveness, motherfucker. Just ignore me. But I ain't gonna say anything about you because I got enough on you being a bitch. This is about Fred. Where you at? Where the fuck you at? Why are you hiding? I know you watching this stream. Guess what? My Skype, you are green. You are watching this shit. And I will leak more shit about you if I find out that you fucking have doxes. If you fucking dox people and I find out about it, I'm going to leak more. And I'm going to leak the whole thing, Mr. Mediker. If you want the whole fucking chat logs, you will have them. You will have them. Come to me. I will give you fucking everything. Bury this motherfucker. And yes, I admit, I was a fucking retard for being in that group. We were retarded for doing all that shit. I know, Kaz. Well, the big bad Brazilian guy that always talks about, well, I'm from Brazil. Of course you're not scared of anything. You know, you're just scared of showing your face. You're scared of confrontation. But this ain't about you, motherfucker, because you weren't even a junior member. You were just a Fred ass kisser. I ain't got no problems with you anymore. But anyways, Mediker, I'll give you all the leaks. And guess what, motherfucker? I have 2 calls of him ranting about the fucking group. You want those calls? You got it. He called me at 5 a.m. ranting about shit like a fucking schizophrenic madman. I want you guys tweet at Jim. Tell him that Che will give him every fucking thing. And you know what? I admit, we were an idiots. And Kaz, you were an idiot for being in that group too. You were an idiot for being a cheerleader. Why did you always fucking come to me when I talk shit about Fred? Because you're a bitch. And what about you, Dox and Tevin? Tevin's in this fucking call. Where you at, Fred? You gonna apologize to Tevin for doxing him? Hey, guess what? Just a surprise, a DSP fan doxed Tevin. Where the fuck you at? He was right. This is the autistic Illuminati. And guess what? We got out of it. We all got out of it. And even Kaz, which is a surprise. So I'll give him props on one thing. That fucking idiot got out of it. You're smart, because it's a sinking ship, motherfucker. You need to get off of it. Everyone, get the fuck off the Sons of Kojima. It's a dead fucking sink. Mr. Mediker, tweet at Mr. Mediker. Tell him Che will give him everything about fucking Fred. Everything. We were dumb for being in that group. We were dumb for taking it that serious. That's the problem. We took the group too seriously. We took ourselves too seriously. That's just the way it is. We fucked up. But the difference is we're here admitting our fuck ups. Fred is running. Fred is hiding. He's on the Titanic and it hit the iceberg and he's drowning. So what is Fred trying to do? He's trying to sit there and hide, because you know what Fred thinks? He thinks that he could hide and he can get away with this. He thinks that that video that Tevin made won't mean shit in a month. Hold Fred's feet to the fire, because if this was DSP, if DSP did this shit, he would get roasted for 2 years. So let's treat Fred like the DSP bitch that he is. Let's treat Fred like the lolcow that he is. Hold his feet to the fire. I'm doing it right here. I don't have the audience. And I'm being a dickhead. I'm doing it right here. And I just want to be a dickhead about it. That's why I said Jim to come talk to me. What's the matter, Fred? Why aren't you coming out? Why aren't you going to admit that you tried looking up fucking personal members' information? You got pissed off at Loophole. You tried finding his information. You doxed fucking Caesar. You tried to find my information. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I got one more. Hey, Tex, are you in the chat?
I think he's doing a
Say
stream
something.
right now. I think he's doing a stream right now.
This is something for Tex.
Okay.
Tex took a picture of him looking at a box. You know how you look in a box and sometimes it shows you a reflection? You guys know that?
Yeah.
How you like look into a box and it shows you a reflection? Well, Fred spent one day trying to fucking screen cap a picture of Tex from that reflection so he could get his face, so he could leak it on him. He was holding like a Star Wars box because he collects Star Wars. The difference between you and us is because we admit our mistakes. We admit our mistakes. Even Caps, I'll give Caps props right now for the shit I talked about him. He's admitting his mistakes. All of us ex-SOK members are admitting our mistakes. We admit we did act fucking autistic. We acted schizophrenic. We acted stupid. We acted retarded. Everything in a book we acted, but we got out of it.
Pause
The
it.
only one that is left is Fred.
Okay, I got a problem with this guy. I know he's like doing this to go after Fred, but the way that he tries to use like actual disabilities to try to explain like how they were going in is pretty terrible. They call themselves the autistic Illuminati. That's pretty, just kind of explain Sons of Kojima. That is terrible. Because as somebody that is autistic and as somebody that is involved in communities in other places, we would not go that far, to say the least. This is, I would say, somebody that does not understand disabilities all that well, has a lot of ableist type of thoughts and ideas. Obviously doesn't think very highly of people with disabilities, and then uses it as an insult. This guy's not a good person either. I'm just putting that out there. There are no good people in this group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why they called it a burial, because they were like admitting, yeah, we did stupid shit, and we don't want to be part of it anymore. And it's just so happened that I don't agree with what Tevin used as term, because yeah, there's a video or a stream that he made where he really called Sons of Kojima, the autistic Illuminati, and yeah, and Che ran away with that code. Now everyone is agreeing with him, and it ended up offending the autist, the actual autist. Like, there could have been better ways to do it, and good thing that it's showing on the screen the actual title of the clip, because this is a 5 hour burial. Because I just had to skip to the part where Che mentioned, because um, he's still emotional about it, since it's about he he eventually admitted later on in this live stream that yeah, he ended up having a relationship with Alice, and Alice died. And Sons of Kojima, or at least Fred Fuchs, tried to capitalize on that, and Che said no, because you were the same people that were claiming that she's an attention whore, that she's faking her cancer just to get attention. And then this happens. Then next thing they realize, Alice is dead. It's like it's sad when people had to die first before other people believe that the cancer is real. Like, and which is why it also helped a while ago on the other chair rant that I shared, that they really showed a tweet from Alice on about she's more preoccupied with the figurative cancer than the literal one. Although maybe it's just her way of coping with the leukemia that she had at that time. So emotions are running high. They end up using words incorrectly, but I can't help but sympathize with Shea on the part about losing the girlfriend and realizing that yeah, this group went too far. And which is why whenever I search for Sons of Kojima on YouTube, it always includes the words Alice death. Turns out the reason it includes that part, even if I find it hard to find information about her, if not for this live stream that I found, it's because there are people that would rather not talk about it, and there were people that got busted for talking crap about her. You end up with a group that is with a lot of backstabbing, a lot of infighting going on. Like, you'd be surprised if they survive or they outlive DSP Gaming channel itself. So yeah, feel free to go to that clip where a lot of the ex members of Sons of Kojima collected, shared what they have or what they know about Fred, and they are also aware that Fred Fuchs is in the chat. He's just not participating in the call. He's just listening, or at least that's how Che mentioned it. I only I tried to finish the whole thing actually. I'm trying to research for this. It's hard. It's hard to listen to it at some point. That even Null of Kiwi Forms have contributed to it. It's hard to listen to it because okay, let's say that Fred Fuchs did a lot of things wrong in Sons of Kojima, but it took a long as well for them to realize what went wrong, what made them realize that it went too far, and that how each one of them is being accused of conspiring to develop an anti-SOK group, trying to bring down the SOKs. Like, how paranoid can Fred Fuchs get that he always suspects someone else of forming a different group to topple the group that he has, or the empire that whatever empire is left that he built, you know. And by the way, I have a degree in political science as well. I just don't remember doing stuff like this. It just so happened that political science is a good pre-law course. Like, if anyone here in the Philippines would enroll in a school of law, and they would like to get a good foundation for college of law. This would be the course to use. At least that's how I see the utility of the course. But if you are taught in political science how power is earned, how power is accumulated, and how easy it is for power to be snatched from beneath you as well, I can see what points in his degree that Fred Fuchs can remember that in the course of trying to be powerful, he ended up losing a lot of friends. Not sure if you agree with that, Joe.
Well, I would think so. Is if you're gonna, I mean, if I mean, politics is always tricky, depending on what side of the aisle you're on. And it also depends on what type of community that you have. If you
Mm,
tend to have a more conservative community and you decide to speak more liberal things, then obviously you're going to break off, and vice versa.
mm,
So, I mean, it's happened with my show. I mean, there were people that I had on the show that were way more conservative than I was, and I said, "No, I'm gonna." We talked about it in private, and it's like, "No, I don't agree with any of that stuff," and we couldn't get along after that. So, I mean, it's common to not be involved with the community because of ideologies, because
mm,
we are human, and that really dives into the idea that we are going to stick with people that stick closer to what we believe in and what our ideologies are.
mm.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, so at least we get to hear some of the thoughts that Che has here, and eventually, if we would sum up everything that happened here at Sons of Kojima, of course, all most of the blame would end up with Fred Fuchs because he realized that he's powerful, that he can manipulate people to do his bidding, and he feared the day will come that they will wake up and realize that they've been manipulated. Fred obviously feared that day that he. I will not be surprised about him being on a Skype call 19 hours a day. Because if you're trying to keep record of everything, keep track of everything, and using that information as blackmail material against your own members, soon enough, the political power that he earned is less about the benevolence and more about the malevolence of the political power earned. And at the bottom of it all, it's not even a political ideology. It's just a need to feel superior about themselves because a lot of these hate groups on YouTube arise because they feel a need to be better than everyone else. Of course, secondary to that is the need to churn out content for their own YouTube channels. On the other hand, if you have people that people like Renegade Operative, people like Che, and other members of the SOK, because the group is named Sons of Kojima anyway. They can talk about gaming. They can talk about other gamers. They can talk about other Twitch people that have contributed a significant amount of drama. sorry to use that word. Significant amount of drama to the community that they don't need to focus on DSP because DSP on his own has become stale. He does not know it yet. The thing is, do you have to go in or wallow in the same swamp that he got stuck into? Of course not. There's a reason why people like Jodini here moved on from the Christian stuff. There's a reason why other members of the Sons of Kojima wanted to move on from the DSP stuff. It's because it will not always be a thing. It will not always be a trending topic. There will be people that will get tired of DSP's crap. And the sooner you realize that you need to diversify your content, the better. which is why a lot of people are happy about the evolution of Memology 101. He's just one person. He realized that he can move on from the DSP content into better, edgier stuff, to the point that, yeah, he's getting a lot of criticism for it. Next thing you realize, Memology is doing his own charitable initiative for people who got stuck or who were, what's the term that I was trying to use? For people that ended up getting the suffering after the hurricane in Texas. Or
They're
was it a
getting
hurricane?
relief.
Mimology was one of those people that started sending relief to the affected families in Texas.
Yeah, they were sending donations as well.
Yeah, because it's it really it went as far as um, they lost electricity for a few days. There were some YouTubers based in Texas that can't upload stuff. They can't live stream because there's no electricity, so they can't do stuff. They if they have to do some stuff on their phone, they can only record and then upload by the time the power comes back on. So I don't have a problem people doing charity online to make themselves look better. I consider it the norm actually that some people would do charity because it's a subliminal way of advertising their company for corporate social responsibility purposes. But at the same time, if you're doing charity, at least make sure that the people who are intended to benefit from the charitable acts would really get it. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I still can't find information about the TCP. They keep calling it TCP, but other people would call it charity water stream. And when their own members, when former members of Sons of Kojima are too embarrassed to even discuss where the money went or if they succeeded in outperforming DSP when it comes to uh, gathering the donations, yeah, you know that it would take forever. I think it would take a lot more years until maybe some of these member people like Che and people like Mogul Fantasy and the other members of the core group. Seems like they're core groups because they were mentioning senior members, junior members, and the like here at Sons of Kojima. They're the ones who know, apart from Fred Fuchs, of course. So before we end this episode that we have, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share further, Joe?
This whole group is a mess. It's a total big, messed up mess. I mean, this is what happens when you spend too much time online. This is also what happens when you have too much of a toxic internet culture. And it's also a commentary on men in general, especially those that are more conservative leaning than anything else, because most of us on the other side do not act like this. Or if we do, it's mostly because we're calling out somebody that actually is causing harm, like Tim Pool, for example, or like Ben Shapiro, for example, or specific members of Congress over here in America. That's in it. That could be an issue. But they just went after one person. They found it funny, and it was, after a while, it just got tiring for people, and even for members of the own group. And one guy that was running it all because he was on a ego trip and had problems because ED wanted to do the lulls on them, and also because one guy decided to quit his Twitter because it was just a gateway to Sons of Kojima content. They went into this whole diatribe about it. It's the whole thing is a mess with them, and I don't blame people for leaving, and I don't blame them for not being around anymore. You know, when you get something like this, it's not gonna last. you have to change with the times. Like, each year has to be like a new thing. If you try to do anything else, or if you try to stay the same, eventually people are going to get tired of you. We were talking about this last night with Shane Dawson,
Mhm.
saying that, as time went on, they just found that the content was just stupid because didn't change the content or whatever. And you're starting to see the same thing with the SOK.
Mm.
And that's all I got to say.
Well, thank you, because I ended up on the parts about them realizing much later on how dumb the content turned out to be, and how they tried to at least diversify or do something else that consider more worthwhile. And I'm not sure if Tevin has already started covering other topics. I don't follow him as much. Definitely the other detractors, yes, that's a thing, that's a term now, have started covering other topics apart from DSP. Some of them went as far as putting up their own a separate channel that would discuss whatever they want to discuss that is not related to DSP. And it's a good thing. That's a step in the right direction. They may simply follow the lead of memology, and they would realize that, yeah, there's a lot of that can be discussed online on YouTube that YouTube would allow you to discuss. Granted that you do it within their bounds, that you're being fair, that this is not for harassment purposes, that you're delivering fair comment basically. And it's no longer fair comment when it's becoming harassing, when it's become about trying to be morally superior, that you become a-loggers. No, you need to pause, take a look at yourself in the mirror, and see if it's still worth doing. And with a lot of channels getting demonetized on YouTube, yeah, you need a lot more introspection into your content as well, because I'm doing that in my own content now. And I really ended up looking at some of the content. There's still content that I believe in, thankfully. There's content that I would just let stay there, because there are some opinions I may have differing opinions. I would eventually have different opinions about 2 years from now, and I would have a lot of opinions of 5 years from now. But I will let these clips, these episodes of the Untold Legends season 2 stay online, so people would have an idea where I stand, or at least where I once stood. So I really think everyone. I want to thank everyone else for staying with us here until the end of the Untold Legends. Thank you for giving me a chance. And thank you, Madame Ghosty, for finally making it. Oh my god, we're just about to end the episode. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would just have to highlight what Madame Ghosty said. Unfortunately, some don't know what introspection is or why it's needed. I agree with that, Ghosty. And now we are ending the season with a realization about how some hate groups arise and fall, and how, yeah, don't worry, Madame Ghost, you can get through the replay version of this stream. You'd end up learning a lot, definitely, with this. And of course, it helped a lot that Joe Dini here has shared some introspection. And just in case my English is a little too deep here, yeah, maybe because I'm studying a little too much, maybe. Anyway, so thank you very much, everyone, for staying here with us here at Untold Legends on the finale episode, the two-part finale episode that we have delivered. Uh, I don't know yet when would season 3 would be airing. I would have to discuss it over here with Joe, and just wait for announcements on when season 3 of Untold Legends would be. And I would be seeing you soon. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, good night, good day, um, a good week ahead. Happy weekend. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.